Okay, so I had planned on doing like daily updates on how the code's going along, but turns out I got quite a lot done last night, and it's going to take forever to go through all the different code and what it does. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to say what I've done and not how I've done it. So updates from yesterday are I got a method of loading in a game state, which I'm not too sure what it does or how it does it because I didn't code this. The guy I'm working with coded this, so all this stuff here is his code. So yeah, feel free to read that if you want to try and get a grasp on what that does. Now, the rest of the stuff was all coded by me, so I can go a bit more in detail on that. But basically, I've coded. I've got the Runescape instance window class, which I think I already had yesterday. I have a G slot class, and I have an item class. So the idea is that the RuneScape instance is going to be the properties of the actual RuneScape window we're playing on. The G slot is going to be the properties of the actual slot we're working with, and the item is going to be the properties of the item that we're working with. The item will be part of the G slot, so down here, self.item will be the item eventually, once I figure out a way of shotting it in there. And the G slot will eventually be part of the RuneScape instance. It will be inside the list of G slots right here. This part right here. So yeah, that's the classes sorted. Now the rest of the stuff is basically a lot of smaller functions down here, for example. They just do sort of small things. So for example, empty G slot check. This just checks for each of the G slots in the list of G slots. So in so list of G slots right here. For each of these slots, these are all objects. So for each one, it's going to check if the buy or sell, this thing right here, if the self.buy or sell, it's going to check if that is equal to none. If it's equal to none, it's going to return true because we know we've got an empty slot, and if not, then we're going to return false because we know they're all taken. So I'm not going to go too in depth on like running through the code in order of what it does and where and stuff because it's all over the place at the minute with it only being half done. But yeah, that's what that does. I've made a function move mouse to image within region, so you pass it an image, you pass it a region, and it'll find that image in that region. It's very similar to this function right here, the pi_auto_GUI.locate on screen, and then passing in a region parameter. But the difference is that I can pass in a region as a object, so I pass in the image as an image, and I pass in the region as an object file. So like in the first case that I use this, it's like a G slot, so I'll pass in G slot in there, and then it takes like G slot dot top left corner and takes that as the thing. So I should probably add a comment in this. So region takes in an object. Now wait for just checks that the screen's moved, so it'll oops, just this thing here. So it'll just get stuck in this while loop until it finds whatever image it's looking for. So the image and then the RuneScape window that it's looking for the image in. So it'll try and look for that image in that RuneScape window, and until it finds it, it'll just be stuck in this while loop. So that's useful just for making sure that when you've clicked something, the window is then updated to the next screen, and not just like in my previous one, this code right here, there was loads of these sleeps, look, where I'm just waiting for like hoping the screen's going to move on. Now I won't have to do that. Now I'll actually just wait for the screen to move on. Now collect items from G slot. This just clicks the a completed offer and collects the items from it basically. Actually, does it? Yeah, it does. So it clicks on a completed offer, it clicks the collection box 1, clicks the collection box 2, sorry, it clicks them in reverse order, it clicks 2 then 1. And then it waits for the screen to update, and then it ends. What else haven't I been through? So find up to date sell price. I'm not going to go through this one. This one isn't done yet. This is the most recent thing I'm working on. Prevent logout. So what this is, it's basically just a random event handler. So it'll get a seed from the random.random. It's going to print the seed, even though we don't actually need to do that anymore. That was like for debugging earlier. If the seed's above 0.5, it's going to open up the sale history tab for 5 seconds and then return to the G tab. Now I don't want to actually open it for exactly 5 seconds. I want this to be like slightly random. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say it opens it for 10 times random.random. Yeah, that should be fine. With a minimum of say like a minimum of 0.5 seconds. Minimum of 1 second. And that 9 because I want it to be a maximum of 10. Right, so basically this just opens up the sale history tab and then returns to the G tab 5 seconds later. This one right here, so if it's less than 0.5 the seed, then it'll examine the money pouch again, similar to how it did when it initialized the bot, as I've showed yesterday, where it clicks the examine pouch, examine like the money pouch button. Now, move mouse to box. You're taking the image of a box, taking the top left corner and top right corner. I can't remember why I use. Okay, so you're passing hold on, why did I use it? Very similar to move mouse. So I think this is just the same as the move mouse to image within region, but the difference is that I pass it an image and then a box rather than an image and then an object. Pretty sure it does exactly the same thing. It also doesn't click, whereas the oh no, the move mouse to image within region doesn't click either. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they do the exact same thing. They just take in different parameters. Useful because some things I've stored as like objects with a box at the top left corner and the bottom right corner. Some things are, for example, pi autography. When you locate on screen, it finds like a top, a left, a width, and a height rather than a bottom right corner. So I think that's why I've got two ones for handling the pi autography returned, like default returned tuples, and ones for return like the box stuff. So yeah, I think that's what that's for. Now check if image exists. This is something new I added, I think. This basically, when I'm initializing the item, I look for the image of the item. So the image in GE search is basically how the item's going to appear when you search for it in the GE. So it checks if the image exists. Now, if we go back to this, you can see what it does. So there it is. So it takes in an item name. Now file name is equal to this thing plus this thing down here. So this is stripping out the white space, putting in underscores, and adding a .png on the end. So it's basically the format that I've saved the files under. Now it's going to go to the path, and then it's going to check is it a file, this file name. So if it is, it's going to return the file name. If it's not, it's going to print you do not have an image file for, and then print out right in that set of brackets there, it'll print out the item name. So the scripters are brought in to fix this issue, either take a screenshot of the item name or remove it from the list of items to merge. So this is basically just going to check that we've got images for all the items, because if we didn't, then we'd run into an error later and we might not know why. So yeah, this is just sort of like to keep the script running smooth. Now, items to merge. This takes in member status. I think I've been through this yesterday. I'm not going to go over this, but yeah, if you remember, members list. If you're not a member, free playlist. Examine money. Pretty sure we went over that because that was in the script yesterday. I'm pretty sure all the rest of this was up until the new 3 that have been put in by the guy I'm working with. So yeah, not much else to go over. I've also updated a couple of other things on like the other script. So for example, I made this script. What this does is it takes in a list of items, so this list of items right here, and you tell it which box you want to screenshot. So for example, on a Runescape window, when you search for stuff in the GE, you get 6 different items appear like visually. Let me see if I can show you the game. Right, so let's see if I can capture this easily. There we go. So when you search for something, like say you search for coal, actually no, let's search for a root, so we've got plenty. Now you see we get 6 boxes. Now them 6 boxes correspond to these 6 coordinates right here. I hard coded these to fit with like a particular place you need to put this window. This is just something quick that I coded. It's just basically a tool to set up the code. It's not something that like is designed to be user friendly or whatever. So yeah, it takes in a list of items and you give it which box you want to use. That's like you put this in down here. So box 1 coords is what it's using at the minute. Now what it's going to do is it's going to type. It's basically what it's going to do is it's going to you start it on a window like this with that box clicked, and what it does is for the first item, so incandescent energy, it types it in, and of course I've spelled incandescent energy wrong. Oh, okay, because I'm not a member. So if I type coal in, oh no, coal's a bad example. So maple logs. Yeah. So if I type maple logs in, you see maple logs comes up. Now what it's going to do, it's going to screenshot the area of this. So we'll get a nice screenshot of maple logs. Going to wait a couple of seconds, then it's going to delete this, and then type in the next one. So say water rune. Now it's going to screenshot that. Going to wait a couple of seconds, do the next one. So it's just basically a script to gather all the screenshots. Now, what this does is it saves them all to file name 2 right here, so this thing right here, into the temp items location. The reason it does this is because, like I showed you with coal doesn't actually come up in the right slot, it comes up in the second slot. So it's going to get the screenshot wrong. So what you do is you manually go into temp items, and any that are correct, you cut out of there and you shot into items instead. Any that aren't correct, you just leave there. And then what you do is you change box 1 coords to box 2, and you run the script again. This time it'll get loads more of them right, and you do the same again. You go back into this temp folder, you cut out the ones that are correct, and you shot them into the items folder. Now it won't take duplicates. So for example, if coal was right, no, let's say maple logs. So maple logs would have been right. So it doesn't actually screenshot maple logs again when you run it a second time, because it checks if the file exists before it starts the screenshot and stuff. So right here, if the file does exist in items in the folder that you're moving it to, then it'll just continue. It'll print that that file exists and it'll continue. So I could show you this right now actually. I may as well. There's not a lot of code to show in this video, so let's do it. Why is my command window showing? There we go. Yeah, so Oops, I should this Runescape window. It isn't letting me do for some reason. Ah, there we go. Right, so if I go to this tool, so and then item in GE screenshotter.py. Now I click here to start it. So you see it didn't actually take any screenshots and do anything because all these screenshots already exist. So it correctly found that all these exist. Now if I go into the items folder and I say delete what can this screenshot? So for example maple logs worked in it, so if we get rid of maple logs I'm going to delete that and I run this again. Click there again so it's ready to type. Now it found that maple logs, and it made a typo on the end, but you see it found that maple logs wasn't there, so it searched for that. And if I go to God, there's a lot of windows I need to capture right here. Okay, so if I go to this folder right here, you see in temp items we've got maple logs now, which it's actually taken wrong because I forgot the window needs to be in the right position. Okay, so here's how it's done. I drag the window into the right position and I try this again. So I haven't taken maple logs out because it was wrong. It still knows that maple logs needs to be done, so it searches for it again, screenshots it again, and you see now it's almost got it right, it's just slightly off. Not sure why that is actually. There, I think this will be right now. I think it just needed a little bit of resizing. Final try. Nope. Oh, this, I know what this one is. For some reason the RuneScape window moves if I use like the scroll bar on the side. I'm not sure why it is, but there we go. So you see, it finally got a screenshot right. So now what I do is I copy this, I cut this. I paste it in items, which is where all the item screenshots are. Now, obviously it's been removed from temp items, and now if I run this again, you see it just exits. It doesn't have anything screenshot, so yeah, it all works. So let's get rid of all those. Now that's what that does. There's a couple of other things that have been like updated slightly. I don't think this page had any updates. This had an update. I had top left and bottom right were getting put into here the wrong way around. It was causing a few bugs that I didn't pick up on, so just flip those. And that's about it, I think. Real Mouse has had a huge update, but it's still not working yet. This is what the other guy's been working on. So at the minute I'm still using this function, but the plan is that once he finishes it, we'll instead be using all of this. I have no idea how it works. I haven't looked into this. This isn't what I've been doing. So yeah, when it's ready and working, I'll have a look into it and I'll put a video out there. But yeah, that's about it. So that's where we're at so far. Plans going forward are I want to get this stuff finished off. This find update sell price. I'm up to the point now where I need to use Tesseract, so PyTessa, the stuff that I used in the previous one. So I'm gonna have to set a few new functions up for image handling with that, and yeah, I'll see how that goes. See if I can get it as accurate as I previously had it. I'd also like to implement it somehow just to find digits. I'd like to probably look into how that's done rather than doing the sort of hacky way that I did before, where I just filtered out so where was it? So right here, where I just filter out all these letters that just look similar to numbers. I'd prefer to just straight up be looking for numbers. So yeah, that's the plan for now. Other stuff I plan on doing today, I just working my way through this list of stuff to do. So hopefully I can get I reckon I could get probably the majority of it done today, the majority of it finished, and have maybe a working prototype, and then we could just update it and make it better throughout the next couple of days. So yeah, if you want to see how it ends up looking, then make sure you subscribe. There'll definitely be more videos coming on this. Leave a like if you liked the video. Comment down below if you've got any improvements or suggestions or ideas, or if you want to contribute. There's a link to the GitHub on the first video I did for this. Go find that or leave a comment and I'll make sure I send you a new link. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.